Decided to deepen the finger choil here on my one knife, the OD2. It works okay, but it's really small, and sometimes it scratches me just a little bit because you can barely get on that. It's just not very deep. So I'm just going to be using a Dremel with a drum sander on here. Stick a piece of wood right in there and then sand it down and polish it off. I just barely started already on the knife I'm doing. This is my wife's. She likes everything original. She's worried it'll fall apart or something, I think, if I mess with it. So this is mine, and I just started just lifting a little bit off and thought, oh, I'll make a video on it. So. So that's significantly deeper there. You can see that. So I think that's probably good. Now I'm gonna polish it real nice with the polishing wheel. Got one here. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of sanding compound on there, and then or a polishing compound, and just polish it up. I'm just going to use this nano polish. It's a real fine grit. You want to start with something a little grittier and work your way down, but for little jobs like this I just start with the fine grit because it won't take much to polish that up anyway. So that feels real smooth. Looks halfway decent. So to clean it out, I'm just going to hit it with some spray cleaner and then use my air compressor and blast it out, and put a little drop of oil and take my piece of wood out that was holding over the liner lock. So. I often use WD or some cheap Walmart spray cleaner as a cleaner for my knives. I just blast them out. I don't think it makes a good lubricant, WD-40 or this cheap lubricant, but it is pretty handy for cleaning. So you can just blast out your knife there. Make sure there's no grit left in there. And I'll use my little mini compressor. I hooked up a rubber tip so I can blast stuff out. Okay, so there's the finished result. It feels smooth, looks fairly symmetrical. Might hand sand it just a little bit here just to get it nice, not real critical. And on this knife, this particular modification wasn't particularly necessary. It's a thin liner lock, but I do sit there and flip this thing open 1,000 times while I'm watching TV sometimes. And so I thought it'd make it a little bit more comfortable. There it is compared to before. You can see that's a significant difference, and looking at it on the close-up here, I'll probably hand polish that just a little bit. And then I used, after I blasted it with just this cheap lube you get at Walmart, silicone based. Works great for cleaning. I wouldn't recommend it as a lubricant. I blast it real good, and then I take my compressor and just blast it out for a minute or two till I don't see any oil. I wipe it with a paper towel, blast it with the air, wipe it, blast it. And then I'll use something like this, Weapon Shield. I'm not saying this is the greatest lube. You can use mineral oil, this, machine oil, sewing machine oil, whatever. I'm sure that all works great. Everyone's got their thing. I just like this because I have it on hand. I use it for my guns, and it has the needle applicator. I think this was $6, $7, and I've got a couple of them, and I've had them for a couple of years, not even used up that much of it. So, you know, I'll just put a little drop in there in the inner working, especially on this knife where it's got the little gears in there. So I think it turned out pretty good.